Here at Business Hour, and we're joined in with a special guest called Tamika Martin. She's a businesswoman and PR and events industry. And today we want to discuss, and I want to discuss a little bit about her journey and also about the situation of the entertainment industry in the UK and how obviously COVID and any other challenges have come from the previous weeks of that. Obviously events and other things are lacking in the industry. So it'd be nice to know what it is that Tamika Martin has to say in terms of that, and also she can introduce herself as well and what she does.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. How's your day going so far?
It's going well. It's going well. Busy, but it's going well. And thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure. It's a pleasure to join you today. Yes, so as you said, I can introduce myself. I'm Tamika Martin.
Yes.
I'm a serial entrepreneur. That is what I definitely classify myself as. I'm also a businesswoman from Nottingham.
Yes.
And I do specialise in entertainment, PR and events management. Mm-hmm. I've been doing this now for 8 years in total. Mm-hmm. I've been operating in this realm for 8 years, but I first launched my business and got it registered and everything, was doing stuff by the books in 2015. So it's going to be 6 years that I've officially been running the business in January.
Very nice.
2021.
Okay, so what made you first of all obviously start your business?
I would say I think it was more of a situation of it's my personality, and it was always my dream to be a part of entertainment from a very young age. Mm-hmm. It was more sourcing opportunities and looking for a platform to be able to put myself in that position.
Yes.
In Nottingham, where I live, there's a lot of talent and a lot of creativity, but not necessarily the platforms to boost and push people into that direction to really catapult off any business or kind of further quest into the entertainment world. So that was really one of the reasons why I thought it'd be great to set up my own PR and events management company.
Makes sense.
Because there just isn't enough of them around in my location, in my demographic, that supports kind of urban, niche kind of talent that is connected to the entertainment world. So that was one of the reasons why I set it up.
Makes sense. So I think I've heard or I've seen that you also work with local and international artists. I think you have been doing some amazing things in the industry. So just for people that are listening to know, who have you worked with?
So I've done corporate shows, I've done charity events, I've done private events, I've done live music gigs. So some household name people that I've, rubbed shoulders with and worked with are the likes of US rap star Snoop Dogg. Okay. I've also rubbed shoulders with Egyptian, which is a reggae dancehall icon, and Mr. Vegas as well, another reggae dancehall icon. Mm-hmm. I've interviewed one of them, and I've also actually headlined a show with the other. Okay. I've worked with Stylo G, another dancehall reggae artist. And Jam Master J from Monday MC, I currently have his nephew as one of my clients.
Wow, amazing.
Interestingly.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're having quite a lot of good fun with him. He's just about to get ready to film a documentary about his uncle's time in Monday MC and his death and his legacy after he was sadly tragically murdered a few years back. So we're just trying to pull it all together to kind of get this whole documentary off the ground. So that's quite interesting. And I've been to lots of major events, been invited to the likes of the MOBO Awards and lots of sporting events, and met some very interesting stars and celebrities as well.
Fantastic. So how do you feel, with the current situation and obviously COVID-19 and, the industry that you're in, how do you feel? Is there any changes? Is it still the same as it was before? How are you finding it now?
It's really difficult, I must say. I mean, there's a lot going on, not just in terms of small businesses kind of crashing crashing and feeling hopeless. I mean,
Yes.
we're kind of thinking of it on every level. So it's not just about finances and,
Mm-hmm.
staying afloat. It's about visibility as well.
Yes.
Because obviously it's such like a dense time at the moment for a lot of people in the event industry. It's kind of like nobody's shining more than anyone else. It doesn't matter if it's on a larger scale or a lower scale, because
Yes.
the event industry is just so, much in a riddle at the moment. It just feels like it's winding up.
Yes.
I don't want to use that word, but it's got that kind of the aura around it.
Of
It's
course.
as if it's kind of becoming slowly but surely non-existent.
I understand.
Definitely for in the moment. So yeah, a lot of things are not being able to happen. A lot of things are closing down.
Mm-hmm.
People are out of jobs,
Yeah.
and people are trying to get a bit more creative on social media, trying to think of the next best thing, maybe the next best virtual event, for example,
Yes.
and are really struggling just to kind of gain some traction from a wider audiences, because audiences are switching off because there's just so much going on at the moment.
Of course, yeah. So what would you suggest? I mean, obviously now that in terms of business, you did say to me that in terms of events, it's a little bit quiet, but obviously you still have the people working with you, and they're still doing something. So are they focused now more on social media, focused more on like things like YouTube, or what is it that you also suggest other people to start doing?
Right, so for me and my business and what we do, and for our clients,
Yeah.
we are moving a lot of stuff that we do online more now than ever.
Yes.
Obviously, with entertainment and events, you need an outsourcing portal anyway, and usually that would be social media, especially if you're doing any marketing or advertisement or promotion and stuff online, boosting promotion and stuff. That is the platforms that we use. So the likes of Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, even TikTok now. TikTok's becoming a really big fad. So
Yes.
there's lots of other avenues that you can definitely, like I said, have more exposure and utilize that as well to, grow your audience.
Yeah.
Same for my business. We do the same. We're very much kind of active on all of those social media platforms, and we like to bring a lot of innovation into what we're doing. So thinking of new concepts and ways to get the audiences to gravitate and engage with content and with your brand.
Yes.
So for me, even though there's a lot going on, in the world outside of social media, we have social media, and we should be utilizing that if you're, wanting to at least, have people navigate and definitely engage with your business.
I understand. I heard from a few people in the industry that they do still try to plan events for the future. Obviously now, due to COVID and lockdown potential rules that are staffing the industry, but they still plan. Is it something that you're still planning to do, events outside of the social media platforms or online platforms?
Yeah, we are very sceptical about that as it goes at the moment, and that's purely because I feel that setting dates and times could be quite dangerous, especially when we don't even know when everything's going to be opening back. So what you're potentially doing is you're creating like a euphoria for your audience to buy tickets, get excited about coming along to an event that may actually not happen because things and systems are not in place from the government's perspective to make it safe for revelers and obviously for guests or, teams, businesses working at events. So I know at the moment, in the last little kind of lockdown we had and coming out of that, some bars and restaurants, the hospitality trade opened up again. There was a few little small events with social distancing being practiced around the events, and that wasn't just in the UK, that was like on an international scale. So some countries don't have the same lockdown measures as us, for example, and they're still having events for like, it could be 100 people or might be a bigger space, but they are practicing social distancing. Are you still going to make the same amount of money through ticket sales that you would have made, kind of pre-COVID? So there's a lot to kind of look at, if it's going to be beneficial to run an event, depending on the magnitude of it and what it's going to entail, as opposed to not setting dates and maybe just focusing on brand awareness and growth and doing virtual events online. That's my take on that.
Makes sense. I just think that sometimes, obviously, within the industry, people are not looking to lose money and obviously invest in big events, and that makes sense. But at the same time, the industry is ruthless, so you need to probably think about ways where you can obviously make money without losing out the brand and other things that you're probably doing. But when it comes to international the international side of things. Are you looking to go international, or are you just thinking UK is, the best option at the moment?
No, well, we already are. Well,
Okay.
we have clients in various other countries. We've
Yeah.
got models and mainly recording artists and musicians in various different parts of the world. But
Yeah.
we are wanting to expand in terms of the events we do in
Mhm.
various locations around the world, and
Yeah.
mainly looking at Europe. But because there's quite a lot of things going on with travel at the moment, restrictions, borders
Yes.
being closed, local lockdowns, there's not really much, even if you wanted to have an innovative mindset, there's not
Yes.
really much you can do with that when you are literally, your hands and feet are tied at, how you can plan
Yes.
moving forward. So you could have a plan, it's always wise to write some things down, brainstorm,
Mhm.
or possibly, stick some stuff on a drive or whatever and build on that.
Mhm.
But to then try to kind of, really materialize that and bring that to life, it would be very difficult at this moment in time because we just don't know what's coming ahead.
Makes sense. That's fine. So I was saying, obviously, you're in the entertainment industry, working hard for your brand. But is there an advice you have, in terms of improving the industry, or something that we need in the UK to improve the industry? Because I've worked and I met a few people that are from the BAME communities, and they always say, obviously they have challenges and things that they can't do or they haven't been able to do. But is there maybe an advice that you would give if someone is out there listening and they want to change the entertainment industry to become better? What would you say it would be?
I just think we need to start thinking about new ways to stay entertained on a whole.
Yes.
Obviously, we are used to, face-to-face events, getting together, planning, doing all of the logistics for an event, and actually turning up and enjoying an event as well.
Yeah.
But because of the current situation and because we don't know what's coming, I think we definitely need to start thinking, like I said, of new ways moving forward of how we can still have that motion and have that feeling and that euphoria about, attending an event or planning an event.
Yeah.
But doing it safely
Yes.
and still, it's not going to be what we're used to or what we know, but surely we can find ways to navigate in this and still, make something of it.
It's okay. So I was saying, as artists are out there and listening to, the station, is there an advice that you would give to artists, that how they grow their art, how they improve, and what they can do to become better artists?
Are you talking about talent in terms of music, or are you talking about just in generally in entertainment industries in performers of any caliber?
So obviously, I'm sure that there are people that can do like movies and do different things. But in terms of entertainment industry as a whole, obviously, how would they improve their craft? Obviously, some people might not have the confidence. Or are there ways that you can advise maybe people to, go forward with what they're doing as a career? Because sometimes you do have artists that they have a career on the side, and maybe they have something that they work on like a job, and then they really want to become artists, but it's difficult. So sometimes we have listeners that are artists and they want to improve themselves, but they just don't have the tool, they don't have the guidance. And what would you suggest for them to do?
I suggest you come to me. Come to Ucreate PR and Events Management. We can help you. We specialise in talent development and talent support. And also we have a team of people that can help you to kind of tailor more into your craft. And we offer professional representation, so kind of dealing with your day-to-day affairs. If there's a lot going on that you can't really withstand because you're too busy, working on your craft and developing your craft. And we've got lots in the bag that we can support artists with in terms of, making sure that they're still being competent at what they do and what they love. So, there's lots in there, but I would say kind of like not to get too complacent about things, because you're only going to do that unless you're demotivated or that's not what you want to do now because of this situation. And as a result of COVID, you are now looking at, developing a career in another path or somewhere else. But if your talent is, worth, trying to take it to the next level and it's what you love and enjoy, then I would say to continue on, kind of carving it out and developing it. And for me, there's no talent that can ever be unloved. If you're talented and you're creative, then people out there will appreciate you. And it's not really necessarily just about what you do; it's about what people want. So
I see.
it's kind of like a pull and push thing.
Makes sense. And how do you scout people? Like, do you go online, or do you still scout people, or how does it work for you?
I do, yeah. We do a lot of scouting on Instagram and
Okay.
via YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So we look for the kinds of clients that we work with on those two platforms, and it's working really well for us. I would
Yes.
say out of the two, Instagram is really working wonders for what we do.
Okay.
There's a lot of creatives on there.
Okay.
And people are very active on those platforms. Instagram is like one of the leading social media platforms at the moment, and that's internationally, so it's a global level, and that means that we can open the market to a wider audience, which is brilliant.
Would you suggest that they have many followers, or would you suggest that just their craft it has to be really good? Because sometimes people, they work on just growing their followers, and they don't work much on their craft. How would you target them if you've seen I don't know, an Instagram profile and thought, okay, this looks interesting?
I think that's a really good question. It depends. So a lot of the time, and as it's been going pre-COVID, it was all about numbers.
Yeah.
But I think right now people are really trying to source new talent, and they're going with what's great and what has the potential. Sometimes it isn't about quantity; it's about quality.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time, big industry pros, they look for numbers. It's kind of like, how much followers have you got? Have you got, like, let's say, 2 figures plus? So you're talking 10K onward. Anyone that's got something like below 5,000, it's kind of like, why have you only got that amount? It might be because they don't have, any marketing tools in place or any promotion, or it's not because they're not, competent at what they do. It's just they need a team to maybe help with social media management, or it might just be that they just need a little bit of extra push in terms of getting out there. They're just focusing on the talent and not focusing on, like I said, visibility. So
I see. That makes
sense.
sense.
Yeah, we can definitely help with that. Definitely, numbers is not everything in this industry.
What do you look for? Do you look for cinema, someone that is an actor, or a singer, or a poet? What do you look for as yourself, as you create?
What do I look for the type of talent I would like?
Yes. So what type of talent do you look for?
Because we work in the urban kind of sector of the industry, we kind of look for, we know what our insights are, for example, on our social media, so we know what kind of demographic of people work with us.
Okay.
So that might be mostly male, between ages of, say, for example, 18 to 28, for example.
Okay.
In mainly big cities, so London, Washington, New York, those sorts of areas. Some parts of, like, Europe, so Germany and Paris are another platform for us. In terms of music, for the music clients, it's mainly kind of like the in type of music right now, and kind of like going with the in crowd. So a lot of that might be like, that trap stuff, drill stuff, pop, mainstream pop, and fusions as well. Afrobeat. So that kind of thing. Like I said, with the fusions, it's a mix of different genres of music all intertwined into one.
Yeah.
So we tend to get a lot of, clients that belong to that genre. Again, with the modelling side of it, it's kind of like a certain age group, certain demographic in the world that we normally work with.
Yes.
And it's we know what the client looks like. Description.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That makes sense. So,
by the way, we got that information from research as well, so we know what we're pitching to.
Yes. Also, so you just focus on the urban industry, but you also mentioned movies and actors. Is that something that you also focus on when it comes to picking artists?
Yes. Now, with that, we just scout through like drama production schools or things like that. We can definitely source upcoming talent through there.
Okay.
Again, some of it's on Instagram, not all of it, but we tend to just kind of focus on new emerging talent, and that would come from like talent schools and drama.
So you would suggest that any artist would go and enroll into a talent school, or some kind of school where they learn how to become artists in their own field?
Yeah, definitely. And get into theatre and script writing and learn the trade and the business side of it, and not just about your talent, because it's a really big industry and it's good to kind of know a lot on different levels. It's really, really good for you to be able to do both. So I would personally say, when we work with some of our clients, it's good to be the actor, and that might be the speciality in what you're great at. It's also good to have a director work, or a producer, or the end. Do you know what I mean? So
Yes.
it's just about having a flavour of the whole thing.
That's fine. That's perfect. That's perfect. So I just wanted you to leave maybe an inspiring note or something that would inspire our listeners, as an end note. And, maybe they will be inspired by your words today and do something and become artists or, start working in the entertainment industry. Is that something you want to share with the listeners?
I've got like a bit of a strap line. It's kind of like, pursue your dreams and watch them come through.
I like that. I like that.
Definitely, it's a good one.
Yes.
So, it's like when you actually have a dream and then you wake up and you can't recite it. It's a bit jumbled in your mind, or it's like a bit vague. It's not. But then there's other dreams you have that are quite predominant. It's like I can recite it to you from the start to finish and in between. It's like that's the same as it is for kind of following, a pursuit or career or, trying to make something of yourself. It's the same kind of concept.
I see. No, makes sense.
You can't tell the story unless you do the do. Does that make sense?
Of course, and sometimes it is hard work. Most of the time it's hard work, but, as soon as you start working at it, eventually you'll see the results.
It will all pay off in the end. You'll see results, most definitely.
Exactly. Well, thank you very much, Tamika Martin, for coming to the show and obviously sharing your wisdom and your knowledge about the industry, and hopefully, more better times ahead when it comes to obviously the situation that entertainment industry is living. And really, really appreciate the time that you gave us.
Thank you. It's been amazing. I've enjoyed it as well. And you take care. And yes, I'll hopefully join you again at some point in the near future.
That'll be fantastic. Thank you very much. And this is Tamika Martin from Nottingham.
By the way,
yes.
Sorry, can
That's
I just
all right.
let people know where they can find me?
Of course, yeah.
On the social media platforms, my business is Instagram, and on all the platforms, I am Ucreate PR and Events on Instagram. On Facebook, it's Ucreate PR and Events Management, and on Twitter, it's Ucreate PR, and it's the letter U, not the word U, and it's all one word, Ucreate. And me on all of the platforms is Tamika Martin. So if you just put Tamika Martin in, you'll find me on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and I have a podcast.
Oh, nice.
You can find me on Spotify and the Anchor app, and my podcast is called Hit Me Up Podcast, and it's hosted by me, Tamika Martin.
Well, listen to the podcast and hopefully you'll get inspired as well. That's great. Thank you for that. Thank you very much, Tamika. Have a good day.
Thanks for having me.